phalaenopsis orchid repot. So these are Trader Joe's. This was a Trader Joe orchid. This was, or yeah, I guess was a Home Depot orchid. It was in one of those kokedama things. So root system's not the best. This one is gonna go in here. And these two are gonna go outside, and then I have one other one that's gonna go inside. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through my repotting. So we'll do the outside ones first, and then I will take you through how I'm gonna do the inside one just a little different. So you'll notice outside is terracotta, and outside is going to be styrofoam peanuts and just pure moss, because they're on a covered patio and I control how much water they get, and they dry out faster outside. So this one is already bare roots, so this one's going to be straightforward. I'm going to put this one out here. This one we gotta, you know, take the old moss out, check the roots. The roots look good though. I just watered it so it will be easier to get out of the pot.
You can heat them like this, like that.
So taking the spikes off.
Huh? What? Oh, wait, what?
Or taking the stakes out.
You could get it by yourself.
And then just simply popping it out of this. And we are not going to reuse this, it's a little too flimsy. And we are not going to reuse any of this moss, just because I don't know the age of the moss. And then see how it's very compact? That makes it so it doesn't dry out as fast, which in some instances is good when you have tons of airflow, but typical home growers don't have excessive airflow like a greenhouse environment. The roots are actually looking pretty good though. Not bad for a Trader Joe's orchid that I ignored for a little too long. But yeah, if you don't overwater these, they're pretty hardy. It's just when you overwater them and you start to get rot, or if you get rot in bad places, or water trapped in bad places, that's when you get in trouble with your typical phalaenopsis. So I would like to get this old leaf off. But I don't want to, there we go, happy with that. Yeah, that came off pretty easy. This is not in that bad a shape. Oopsie, lost a root there. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything concerning about this. I'm not seeing too many roots I want to trim either. It's actually a pretty good root system. I'm going to cut this little bit of root there. Where are my trimmers? I brought scissors. Here they go. Huh. I did have scissors. Now I can't find them. Huh. Well, I'm gonna find my scissors and get the moss, which I also forgot. But yeah, so I'm not, since I'm gonna use moss again, I'm not too worried about the extra moss. That one's just gonna kind of leave it like this. I'm gonna cut, most of the roots look good, I'm not too concerned. I'm just gonna cut this one bit off the rest of it, and then the moss there. Going to cut the stems. and then just plop it in there. Right, I will be back. Okay, found these now. So I want to get rid of that part, this part, cut that, and I'm going to cut most of this. I'm going to leave a little bit just in case I want to stake it. Move you this way a little bit. Alright. No, sorry. Here we go. So giving you an overhead view. So, some styrofoam peanuts at the bottom. Some styrofoam peanuts in the base of the plant. This helps make sure that this doesn't stay wet too long. And then put it in the center like that. Now we're going to pack it with moss. Some people prefer that you wet the moss first. I just kind of go with what I feel like. So right now I'm not wetting the moss because maybe I'll wet the moss. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Because I have enough to pot, I'm just going to throw it in there. And I have a little squirt gun I'm going to wet the moss with. Get these out of here. Plus, get my squirt gun. Trying not to bump you guys. Alright. Get this out of the way. So just wetting down the moss so it's a little easier to work with. There we go. Now, it's still somewhat dry, but at least it's somewhat wet now. And then I am slightly compacting the moss, but not like super compacting the moss. Because this one's going to be outside, it's not as important if it accidentally gets a little too compacted. Okay, that's a little too deep. Alright, so there's actually more room in this pot than I thought, so we're going to redo it a little bit. I'm going to add a layer of moss first, and now compact it like that better. Didn't like how deep the plant was sitting. Okay, now that the plant's in there pretty well, I'm going to do kind of a fluffy layer of moss around the plant, but still leave plenty of room for the plant to breathe. So see, now I'm not pushing it in as much. This is more just like a top coat. And then sometimes I'll put air roots inside the pot. This one's happy, so I'm just gonna leave it out. Just add a little bit more moss back here, and then this one is good to go. And then I want a little bit of moss in between that gap area. And just kind of, I don't want any moss like touching the base of the plant. Like, I mean, touching's okay, but kind of burying the base of the plant. So I am pretty happy with how this looks and not really moving. Sometimes I will lean the plant, but with this one, since it's smaller, I'm going to leave it upright and then just be cautious about not letting anything sit there until it starts to grow leaning wise on its own. But there's one down. Now we'll do this one real quick. So same concept. These, and just make sure that when you use these, they're not the biodegradable ones, because there are some that just, as soon as you add water to them, go poof. So a couple down there, and we can probably just do one in the root base of this one, kind of like that. Do a layer of moss. This pot's a little smaller, so. Actually got some good strands in this batch. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. This is just Better Grow. This is at your big box store. So, but look, this is actually, it's a good strand of moss. Sometimes you just get like garbage pieces, sometimes you get pretty good stuff. This is a pretty good one. So I kind of compact the bottom so it's stable, and now we'll just add like a thin layer on top. And these were both no IDs, but they are caloric. But I don't really have anything to tag. I mean, I could make a tag and just kind of describe the flower, but I like phals and I like the novelty phals, but if it's just like a normal phal, I don't put as much effort into them. So won't really put the effort in for you know, tagging them. Okay, this one, maybe just a little bit more moss there. And again, these two are both going outside, so this is my method for doing outside phalaenopsis. Alright, so these two are done. And now we will do the inside one. That's kind of an experiment. Okay, so this is the other phalaenopsis. So this one has slightly worse roots. So cutting off the roots that I do not like. Cutting the spike a little more. Yeah, this one was just not quite as good as the other one. Okay, so we'll leave some of these other ones, give it a chance. Alright, so this is going to be our indoor one. And it's going to go in a clear pot so I can keep an eye on the media and the roots. And we're going to pot it in a tree fern instead of moss. I've noticed moss inside, because the airflow isn't as good, tends to rot on me. Alright, so let's do... So this is what tree fern is. Slightly different potting material. And tree fern you want to pot with when it's dry. You don't want to have it pot when you're with it wet. So there we go. And then this one has more styrofoam in it as well. So. And then tree fern is interesting because when it's dry it's one color, and when it's wet it's a slightly different color. So it's a good potting material for beginners. And then phalaenopsis are actually somewhat heavy feeders, so I'm going to add a little bit of slow release fertilizer to the indoor one, because I don't fertilize my indoor plants as much as I should. I don't fertilize my outdoor plants as much as I should, but at least I do fertilize my outdoor plants. I've noticed I really don't fertilize my indoor plants. One of the reasons when I do grow my orchids inside, they don't do as well. I don't want that stuff in the center there. Add a little bit of Solaris. I cannot say that word today. I'm gonna add some fertilizer because I give up on saying the other thing. A little bit there and a little bit there. Not a whole lot. And then I'll add a top coating of the alright, so this is the slow release, there we go, finally, fertilizer I tend to use. And then I have a very small measuring thing. So I'm actually going to use probably even less than this, but do a little bit there, a little bit in front. And then I will just keep an eye on it. And then it might not even need fertilizer until I repot it. Add a little bit more of this. And then we'll check to make sure that it's not, you know, in the crevices or too close to the base. Alright, so that is my indoor setup. Gotta get all this stuff out of here now. Yeah. Have to figure out how to get it out of the crown some. But there we go. So this one I'm gonna grow by one of my windows, not too close, and then in winter it will move to my bathroom window. Right now it's too bright to be in my bathroom window. So, gonna put it inside, and we will do an update in, I don't know, a few months or so. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always, keep growing. Bye.